Hello, ladies and gentlemen of all different shapes and sizes. This is Justin from JiTEnterprises here with you today. I'm going to be doing a series here, an Asheron's Call Let's Play. And I have actually started this series before, but I thought I learned a lot since I started that, and I was only about 3 videos in and kind of hit a snag. And so I thought I'd start over and perhaps make this better. Weren't a lot of views on the last one, so I don't feel too bad about that. Alright, so Asheron's Call is an old MMO released in 1996, which would make it, oh gee, I don't know, what would that be, 17 years old? Maybe not quite? Well, anyway, this is an old game. It's over half my age. A lot of good times, a lot of good memories associated with this game for me. This is my first MMO. And when I first started playing, there was only 3 races available. The Aluvian here, the Garu and Dim, and the Show. And all these other ones, which were just pretty much monsters in the game at the time, for the most part, have been added since then. The first expansion brought these blue guys. I don't know much about them other than them being warlike people. Shadows were always some really cool enemies towards the beginning of the game there. I remember they had quite a big history behind them. Gear Knights, I have no idea. Never seen those before. Undead, and of course those guys are all over the place as enemies in this game. Empyreans are the people who actually originally inhabited the land of Dureth, who got sent away by Asheron, according to the lore. These two are actually, they were exclusive to Asheron's Call 2, but they were actually the most recently added races to Asheron's Call 1, and I believe the reason for that being is because Asheron's Call 2 is now back in beta release, so if you have an active subscription, you can actually play that. As far as I can tell, the game is a lot like it was before, except there's a new race available, and I'm not going to tell you which one, but it is listed here under one of these. But I just don't know what I'm bound against with this being a beta tester and all that. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do Aluvian, since that is one of the most nostalgic races for me. I could be any one of these 3 really, but I'll be Aluvian. I want my profession to be custom, otherwise it kind of gives you these stats builds for you, and they're typically not that good. So you really always want to do custom, but you kind of need to know how you're going to build your character too. I'll come back to skills. I'm going to work on the appearance first. Let's see here. I'm going to make her what she was the last time we played, just to be consistent with some of my other videos, and that is Unmedicated Grandmother. And this actually is kind of a story I can personally relate to. Anyway, kind of a funny thing, just having an old granny run around. Last time I had her a 2-hand weapon user, and I don't think I'm going to do that this time. I think I am going to stick with heavy weapons, because there's actually not a lot of 2-handed weapons in this game. They didn't add a lot of them when they added the skill into the game, except until later levels. So I found that to be kind of bothersome. Anyway, we're going to make her have a big schnoz here, because, you know, your cartilage never stops growing, so Granny's got a big old nose. And let's see, there it is. There's my menacing granny face. Oh man. There she is. She looks raring to go. And I don't ever bother with the clothes. Skills. So, let's see here. Well, unfortunately there's not a lot of builds online for this particular game. I guess it's just not really all that popular. But that's okay. We'll make a great series, and we'll make it popular, right, everyone? Sure, right. Let's see. What could she use? For her, like I said before, I wanted to do heavy weapons, and then I wanted to make sure that I had, this time with that, dual wield. Let's see. Healing is a must. Dirty fighting is almost a must. It really helps. Recklessness I found is pretty cool, but it's not really necessary. I'll leave that out for now. But I want to specialize in some stuff while I can, because as far as I know, I can't specialize in abilities later on, and I don't know that for sure, because I haven't gotten too far in the game, and the online resources are pretty limited. I probably don't need to specialize healing, honestly. I usually do, but I don't think I really need to do that. So I think I'll just kind of leave that out. I wanted lockpicking for something I was going to do, which I will show you guys in a little bit. And why not missile defense? I'll save it for melee defense, I guess. And we'll get recklessness later. So really what recklessness is it just makes it so that you hit for more, but you take more damage. And with the buffs that I'm gonna get, which I'll show in you guys a little bit later, that's really is a good thing. But we want to specialize our weapon skills, always, and since I'm a melee character, magic defense is almost a must. At least I feel it is. If anyone has like a really good like melee build for this game, please let me know, or send me a post, or post a comment down there, and I will take that into consideration. But like I said, finding some of the resources on this game are kind of scarce. Okay, and so the thing with oh, that's right, dirty fighting. I was going to specialize that. Dirty fighting just makes it so that when you move it to a certain side, your slider bar for your power, and I'll show you guys that a little bit later too, once we're in combat and stuff, you can inflict, you have a chance of inflicting like ailments like bleed effects and different things like that. Okay, and arcane lore is you raise that to be able to equip and use magical items. Dual wield, of course, is using 2 heavy weapons in each hand. Magic defense against magic, healing, very necessary. Lockpicking, I'll need that. Missile, and I want to train all the defenses eventually, but missile is good for now. Alright, looks good. And so most of our skills are definitely going to be strength and coordination, which means that we're going to want to raise those to the highest. And here's our attribute points left over. These are magical skills typically, so I don't usually touch those as melee characters. So what I like to do is I like to even out the rest of these, because I feel that in a way they're both equally important, because one gives you more HP and one gives you higher defense. So I just kind of want to equal those out. Oh, there she is. She looks ready to go. Foaming at the mouth there. So what I'm going to do is start in Hauberk. And because I know there's a buff bot there, and so I'm going to show you what that is too. So I'll go ahead and name her Unmedicated. And I know that's not a word for you grammar Nazis out there, but I figure this is the internet's, and we can make it one. So Unmedicated Grandmother. Alright. Perfect. Okay, 9 minutes in and we're done with character creation. Alright, thanks for hanging in there, guys. Alright, so if you want to skip the tutorial, which is what this starting place is, you just talk to this dude in the next room in the blue cloak. He gives you a gem, you give it back, and then he sends you off to the starting city you chose during character creation. Which, for me, is Hauberk. Alright, so after you get in here, there's this path warden dude. You give him this token with the same name. He gives you a key and levels you up. I am now level 6. That was pretty quick, wasn't it? But most tutorials and MMOs and stuff take you through level 10 and stuff, so it's not that big of a deal. So I think someone just tried to jump on that house up there, so that was kind of fun to watch. So that starting chest there gives you all your starting armor, and you can only get that key once, so you can never get this armor again. Not that you'd ever want this armor, because you can't do anything with it. You can't drop it, you can't do anything. So what also you start out with is some weapons. Like, I was dual-wielding heavy weapons. So for me, what that means is it started me out with 2 heavy weapons and these little potion thingies I would have gotten during the tutorial process. So you just double click and use those on your weapons and equip them. And voila, there you go. Now I'm dual wielding. Huh. This is kind of fun because dual wielding is newly introduced to this game. It was not in the original set of things for this game. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a lot of this extra stuff that I'm going to hold on to into this bag. Now, I don't need a lot of this stuff, but I have a tendency to hold on to a lot of things in MMOs, and I'm sure I can't be the only one out there who's a pack rat in MMOs and tries to hold on to everything. And this game is kind of a bother too, because you have a weight limit. See over here where it says burden. And when you have too much burden, you start running slower and your skills start to decrease and stuff. Alright, so I have an item here that I can't drop. It's, well, actually I think I might be able to drop that one. But here's one I can't drop. The Path Warden's Robe. I don't want that because I have my melee armor on, right? And it's a Mage's Robe. So, what you can do with non-drop or items you can't drop is you can give them to a town crier. And they will take it. And I guess it must just delete it after they take it or something, because you never see it again. But that's how you get rid of non-drop items. Oh, I don't need this bread. I think I can drop this cloak. There we go. I'm just going to leave it there. I could get a little bit of money for it, but you know what? It's not even worth it. Money is so easy to get in this game, and I'll show you guys, or I'll tell you guys about it, because I'm not going to go through a lot of looting and stuff. Alright, so these guys right here would be the buff bots, and what you do is you send them a tell with a command, and they will buff you with that sort of thing. So if I went over and I told this one right here, heavy, she would give me a heavy dual wield buff. So I will go ahead and start it. So what you have to do in this game if you're sending a tell is you have to hit a comma after the name, because the name can be several spaces. So, and then I want to say heavy. And then she'll start. As soon as she darn well pleases. There you go. Okay, I have my buffs. So these buff bots are actually just people who are using their own account and running a bot software program in the background to help people. And this isn't something that the game frowns upon, as far as I know, because they've been doing this for years, these buff bots. And I mean, it's a great help to everybody and stuff. And so kudos to everybody who dedicates their account and their character and their computer usage for buffing in this game. That's really great. What I'm going to do is go on down here to the Hauberk Dungeon, because what I need to do before I can start doing a streamline of dungeon quests in this game is I have to get to level 10 first. And a good way to do that is to start along a quest of dungeons to get keys to get a sword called the Sword of Lost Light. And that's a heavy weapon, so she'll be able to use that, so that'll be a lot of fun. You know what? This is kind of bugging me. You know what I have to do? I have to, oh, there we go. Oh, there's some lag there. I have to make it so that my character, you can see her bun when she runs. It's just not the same without it. There we go. There we go. There, Granny. She's not the fastest girl in the world here, but you know, she gets around good for her age. Okay, looks like I have to head northeast to 43, 6, and 33. This should be a short dungeon. I really only want to make this video about 5 minutes longer, but I also want to see if I can get something done within that amount of time, because I like to keep my videos somewhat short and trimmed down. Let's see here. Oh, there it is. The Hauberk Dungeon. Come on, Granny, you can do it. My hip. Alright. So, looks like from here, it says hug the left wall until you reach a ramp going down. So, let's see if we can find what they're talking about. Alright, so here's combat. So you see how I have the power gauge right here? That's how much damage I do and how vulnerable I am. So if I wanted to put it in the middle, that's about a good balance right there. I do a moderate amount of damage, and I have a moderate amount of defense. But if I wanted to, say for example, just stab them, this becomes piercing damage now instead of slashing damage. So the damage type also changes. They take less damage too, but I also strike faster. And I'm not sure if I can hit these guys high. Let's try it. Yeah, I can. Alright. So there's all my drudges. Oh yeah, that's right. When I'm going to avoid looting a bunch of guys in this because, like I said before, I don't want to take up a lot of time in looting guys. That's one thing. So. Is that the ramp going down they're talking about? I'm not sure, but we'll find out. I'm looking for swamp rats. As soon as I get to the bottom here. Oh man. That's not what I was expecting. Garamis. Oh, these drudges. These are the first enemies I've ever seen in this game. They're really kind of funny. Alright, so what happens when you... Alright, you see those colors that came up there? That means I leveled up. But every time I kill them, I get this unassigned experience points. These unassigned experience points. And for her, it's going to be the most important to raise both strength and coordination right off the bat. Coordination probably most important because it affects the most amount of skills at the same time. So what I typically like to do is raise it by 10 each time. So if I can afford to do plus 10, I will. I'm just not used to being able to afford that. For these, I might only raise them 5. And for the focus and self, I think I'll just leave it alone for now. Oops, I missed one here. And then health, I'll probably raise that too in just a bit. But like I said, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time trying to show you guys that. But that's the cool thing about that. And you can actually go to the skills and raise those the same way too. So that's kind of the neat thing about this game. That's always what I liked about this game. In fact, you know, I liked a lot of things about this game way back in the day. And then again, it was probably because it was my first MMO. Alright, drudges. You're going down. Oh, sorry, no! Alright, so hopefully we're getting close. Anyway, if this game was a single-player game, I think that would just be the most fantastic thing ever. Because I think that because of the buff bots and different things that you do, it definitely has a very single-player element to it. I mean, there is a guild system. It has to do with patrons and stuff. Which means you swear allegiance to somebody and they can have so many vassals under them. So it's like a serfdom kind of setup, which is really kind of fun and neat. At the same time, it's pretty pointless because If you swear to them, they get experience for everything that you do, but you don't get anything for swearing to them other than like gear and stuff. But now that you have buff bots and you can get your own gear and things like that, it's almost a lot of people don't even do it anymore unless they want to be part of something like that's kind of guild-esque. Okay, so I've gone in circles here for, oh, here it might be. Here it might be. Oh, I hear the swamp rats. Oh, okay, so after running in circles for about 3 times, and I apologize because I have only done this dungeon like once. But I think after I kill these guys, this will conclude the video, and I'll go ahead and get the second dungeon next time we play. Okay, so that's the key I was looking for right there. So that's perfect. And yeah, that's right. I said I wasn't going to loot these guys. Okay, so what we're going to do is do a /lifestone. And what that does is it takes you back to the lifestone you're bound at. And since I never bound myself to a lifestone, it's going to be the one that's right at the city that I chose to start at character creation. And I'll show you what the lifestone looks like. It's the big blue stone. Alright, so it's that thing right there. And I'll just log out here. And thanks for joining me, everybody. We'll catch you next round where we'll do the second dungeon for the Temple of the Last Light. And then we'll switch it up a little bit and go do a dungeon from the hub quest. And I will show you about that too. Alright, thanks for joining me again. And take care. Please comment, subscribe if you like, comment if you didn't. And we'll see you around.